So we're going to bring up our next presenter, who is, let me grab my glasses. Our next presenter is a proud third-generation Philadelphian who has spent most of her life in D.C., New York, and New England. She is currently Director of Office Internal Advancement at the University of Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, Rebecca Blachley.
Let's begin with a story. A young girl dreams of being a dancer, and about 25 years into this dream, she finds herself in front of a panel of judges explaining that she doesn't actually teach dance or dance for a living, but rather works on peacekeeping issues at the Office of the Secretary of Defense. Let me back up a little bit. I grew up on the mean streets of Philadelphia, or to be more precise, in a nature preserve in the western suburbs. And as you can see from my walk like an Egyptian outfit and my I'm a little teapot pose, I had talent. As an undergraduate, I moved from tiaras and pointe shoes to bare feet and modern dance and hanging upside down from silks. I also joined the hip-hop dance group on campus, NBC, nothing but cuties. And when I graduated with a degree in philosophy, I got a job at a think tank in Washington, and before too long, I found myself here. There weren't that many former vegan, modern dance, and philosophy majors at the Pentagon, but there I was. And despite the hardcore PT led by my Marine coworkers, those are workouts for those of you unfamiliar with the term, I was missing something, and it was hip-hop. Nothing else matched the particular joy I derived from a little pop and lock, crip walking, crumping, not to mention the Harlem Shake, or a chance to show off my sick B-girl moves. When one of my teachers mentioned that he was holding auditions for his dance company, I signed up. Auditions were held on a Saturday morning at 8 a.m. at the Nation, which claimed, along with several dozen others, to be DC's hottest club. It was in Southeast near the Navy Yard, and in a part of town I was discouraged from visiting too often or too late at night. For the audition, dancers had to choreograph a minute-long combination to be performed in front of judges and an audience, American Idol style. I chose a song by Ms. Jade, a Philly girl like myself, made up a few hip-hop moves, practiced the combination in front of my roommates a few times, and I thought I was ready. So the morning of the auditions, I put on my usual dance clothes. Gray sweatpants, a white tank top, literally those sneakers. And I'd done my pliés and tendus to warm up. But once I arrived at the club, I realized I'd miscalculated. There was a line of hundreds of people around the block, and my fellow competitors were wearing outfits that were a little more sophisticated and revealing. In contrast, I looked like Rainbow Bright minus the colors, and everyone else was ready for a 50 Shades of Grey film shoot. And so I walked in to get my number, sporting my preppy blonde ponytail and deeply regretting that I was wearing pearls. And I got stared at, or more accurately, stared down. And there really haven't been that many times that I felt quite so out of place and uncomfortable, at least since starting work at the Pentagon. Speaking of which, I was working at the Pentagon, and I got yelled at and stared at every day. And I had learned how to handle getting called out, reamed out, bitched out, dressed down. There were few things more terrifying than my boss, the Principal Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, telling me I'd screwed something up. And on top of it, I had dance training, and that had to count for something. I felt like I was in this one movie where a young woman with ballet training shows up in a rough part of town, and at first she isn't welcomed, but in time and against all odds, she overcomes, and before you know it, everyone's having a giant dance party, and it's amazing. Do you know what movie I'm talking about? Oh, wait. It's every dance movie ever made. Surely everyone here has seen Save the Last Dance 2, the straight-to-DVD classic. I mean, I don't want to give it away, but the subtitle of that film does not have the word rejection in it. So, back to the club. It's my turn to dance, and here I go.
Big dreams and hurt feelings, call me Jay the Chip. I put the weight on my shoulders with upper slack. Who else you know could breathe life into a murder?
So that was actually the song. I finished my routine, stand before the judges, and the judge says to me, "Girl, you got the moves." And I'm like, hell yeah! I got the move. What more do I need? But he wasn't done. "But you gotta give it to me." And I said, well, I thought I did. But I had already been ushered off stage, eliminated in round 1. I handed in my number and left defeated. So the reason I'm telling this story is not simply for the fun of reliving my rejection, but rather to share with you the nugget of wisdom given to me that day and to explore and unpack and the notions of having the moves and giving it. This phrase has guided, challenged, and perplexed me, and I've struggled to understand it and even more to apply it to my life beyond dance. So in classic Army fashion, lessons learned. You have to have the moves, and that means working hard, training hard, and putting in the time and effort in whatever you're doing. But something else is needed, something intangible. You gotta give it, whatever the hell that means. And I'm still trying to figure it out. But I suspect it is the difference between an awe-inspiring performance and a mediocre one, between making it to the finals or getting cut in round 1. Giving it is what wows judges, bosses, and audiences, and what serves to fuel all endeavors of passion. It's an ambiguous but also instructive phrase. After my unsuccessful audition, I went back to work at 05 Monday morning and stayed at the Pentagon for a few more years. I kept dancing, although no more auditions, and I still don't know what it means to give it. And I'm not sure if and when I ever do, but at least I get out on the dance floor every now and then, so I'll see you there.